Hello? Hello? Is there anybody here? Hey! Hey! Is anybody here? Are you recording?
Yeah.
We're waiting on you. So you missed her sniffing the markers.
But that camera caught us.
Yeah, we'll see if that works. Okay. Okay. No worry to. We got lots of time. I'm getting this editing. Okay. Just kind of relax here. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I don't want the lid. Okay. Okay.
I see how the show's gonna go.
Yes. Okay.
We're not that kind of show.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Well, good morning, evening, afternoon. Actually, there's a lot of people watching or listening to this at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, which is weird.
Good morning, my
it's probably
people.
Deb. Just can't sleep.
No, that's,
Okay. No, we're back. Welcome, everybody. This is another episode, not in any specific order, because we're just having fun and finding out what fits where. We're Infinite Imagination, and we're doing a podcast called Raging Imagination. That's the first time I've ever mentioned infinite.
no, it's not.
No? Okay. Anyway, we are an Infinite
in the order of
Imagination
things,
theater
yeah.
group out of Camrose.
Yeah.
And we are just entering into the world of podcasts with Raging Imagination, where we are trying to interview and find people that want to tell stories about art, their form of artistry, and perhaps how it affects people in mental health, whether it helps them recovery or whatnot, and that sort of thing. So today's guest is somebody that I've visually known for quite a while. I think we did a murder mystery a little
Yes.
while ago.
Yes, we did.
Together, and
I've seen you on stage.
and I've
Watched
seen you on
and you've
stage.
seen me on
Yes,
stage,
that's
so
right
it's-
too. So
haven't anything together on stage, but
yes, and this is Susanne, and we'll
Hello.
yes, and she is a caricature artist, a graphic designer, and a piano teacher.
I do some
Slash-
piano. I'm also a keyboardist in a band.
Okay,
I
musician.
do
I was going to
community
get to
theater.
musician.
Yep.
She embodies art in many, many ways.
Yes, I'm very distracted.
Distracted?
Very distracted. Yeah.
Distracted, yes.
Yes, yes.
ADHD?
Probably.
Okay,
My
yeah.
kids would say yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
You wear a lot of hats. You do a lot of artsy things.
Yes.
Caricature artist, theater person.
Yeah.
I'm missing one, am I not?
That's essentially do a little volunteering here and there.
Volunteer,
but,
yeah.
but definitely arts have always been the main focus of my existence.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
That's so
since
exciting.
like the very, very beginning of drawing circles on a piece of paper when I was 2. You know.
I too am an artist. I grew up loving to draw all the time. Me and my sister were the only two in the family that did that. Have you ever heard of Tippy the Turtle?
Tippy the no.
Minnesota School of Art.
Okay.
There was also a pirate parrot. And if you draw that in a magazine, you send it off to the Minnesota Institute of
Yes,
Artistry.
I do remember that.
I was enrolled for about a year, and then my parents couldn't afford it, and we were poor people.
Oh.
So I was Air Force brats. Military was not high paying by any means. But anyway, that taught me a lot as a little kid.
Sorry.
And it taught me how to shade, all the real basics of it. And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And then you,
That's cool.
well, you had mentioned, that's the first thing I thought of when you mentioned from an early age you were drawing right on.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've always been drawing. I would draw on whatever paper I could find, on napkins, on my walls, on my homework. I was drawing everywhere that I should not have been drawing. So
We were not
it was
allowed
just-
to draw
had
on the
do it.
PMQs. So
On the where?
PMQs.
PMQs.
What is
okay.
PMQ?
What is a PM? Yeah.
Personal military quarters.
Oh, okay.
Because if you
yeah.
lived on the base, you lived on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
where are
no,
you
that
from?
would I was born and raised in Edmonton.
Oh.
So I was in Edmonton until probably my early 20s, and then I moved to Leduc.
So city girl.
I'm a city girl.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely a city girl.
I'm gonna branch out here. What was it like being a city girl? Like, clearly we all come from different worlds. I was a military brat, so I
Yes.
lived on bases between 100 and 500 people, and I moved all over the country.
Yeah.
And it was my growing up. What was it like in a city for you?
I was, I mean, the city's busy, it's noisy, but it's had a lot of opportunities in the city. I found, with art classes, with theater stuff, doing, wherever. It was just, I just liked being in the city. I liked the busyness of it, riding the bus. Stuff,
I'm very jealous of the opportunities that cities offer, but I'm not a city person. I've lived in a few cities. We spent a little bit of time. I lived in Kingston, Ontario for a summer. Spent a couple days in Toronto and Seattle and stuff like that, just on trips. And I could not handle that.
It's too much.
It's too much. I don't like massive amounts of people. That's why this podcast is perfect. I can tolerate 3.5 people. So
Maybe that's why I like being in crowds. I like working at parties and different special events with a lot of people, because that's just, I don't mind.
don't get me wrong.
Having a
If they're
crowd.
looking at me specifically,
Yeah.
I'll perform.
Oh,
I love
okay.
to perform. That's
Oh,
very
yeah.
different.
What,
It is-
Mike?
What?
It's
Yeah.
very hard for me to
Didn't know that.
relax.
No.
And for me, it's about what can I do to gain that attention, whatever that is.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
so
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I also love to perform.
Yeah.
In theaters. So maybe for me, this is almost like a performance when I do this kind of work too.
So your favorite is the pencil or the on the paper, or do you are you just broad art all around?
It depends on what I'm doing, I guess.
If you had to pick one, what would it be?
Yeah, if I pencil.
Yes?
Pencil and ink.
Yeah.
I think I'd like the more realistic, the slower type art.
Okay.
I love doing this. This is just a lot of fun, but I don't know. I mean, it also depends on the mood, right? Some
Yeah.
days I just feel like that's what I can handle that day or something. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm good with either one.
Yeah, I know. When COVID hit, I decided to learn the guitar, which I had never done before, and
Good for you.
I can play a dozen chords, and I can do some scales, and I'm by no means good at it yet. But
as long as you enjoy it.
yeah, exactly,
Right?
and that's what it was. It was sitting down and making something, creating something out of nothing. I mean, playing a
Yeah.
song is one thing, but trying to find a chord progression that's like, okay, that sounds kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's, how do I make that into something valuable or more valuable, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's
enjoyable.
valuable to ourselves, and it should be, but it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's. I mean, you decide what is valuable and what is the right. What you want it to be like. And that thing is art, music. It's very much. There's no one right way of doing it.
That's right.
Right? Like it's your self-expression of yourself. And it'll
Oh.
be different from the next person, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
There's an interesting thing. I was part of another podcast. I drop in every now and then. They're called Real Life Opinions with Jeff, Corey, and Laura. And what they do is they'll watch a movie and then they'll how to
Critique
put
it.
that. Well, they don't like the word critique. They want to have their opinions in there, and it's just like, and it frustrates me in the sense like I am all about opinions. I'm all about you should like whatever you like, love whatever you love. But if you start to critique something that, well, oh, I don't like the acting, and this guy was terrible in that, and this was his purse thing, and it's outside of your world. It becomes a negative aspect, right? You know what? I really like this about this movie, and I liked how they presented that. And then on the other side, it's just like, I'm not into that. It just doesn't speak to me. Or I find it emotionally, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's an objective and a subjective element to art. Yeah, that's the question for you.
Ooh, okay.
Do you recognize or do you accept or will you agree that there has to be an objective side to art, whether it be dominant or submissive to the art itself? There has to be an objective nature to it.
Objective in terms of looking how you look at it? Kind of thing, or?
There has to be a way to interpret it or relate it in an objective form. Now, that's not saying that you lean in on that, right? So, Danielle, hand me that marker.
Which one?
Oh, not that one, the white one. No, the big white one there. Yes, your hand's on it.
That's a mug.
It's not a marker, right? That is objectively a mug, right? Mm-hmm. So there's my
I
argument.
think I missed something.
Yeah, that's my argument.
Question again.
There has to be an objective element so that people can interpret it. Now, whether you have to learn it or you don't understand it. If you don't understand, okay, I've been dying to get into this.
Okay.
And it's very difficult. I did a play 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago? Red. 3 years ago. It was about Mark Rothko.
Okay.
And he was an actual painter from the 50s. He was an abstract expressionist. And he talked about how Pollock and de Kooning and all these expressionists, they took over Cubism, okay, and all this other stuff.
Okay.
In order to understand art, you have to learn about civilization. You have to understand civilization. So if you want to go completely abstract and somebody stands up there and I don't get it, I don't understand it, it's because they haven't learned the perspective of the artist, right? And
Possibly.
it's not really relevant to that situation. But if I look at that and it looks more like Danielle than me, you've objectively missed the mark. Is that a fair statement?
Possibly, but if I think that it looks the way I planned it to look, then objectively I did
Subjective.
it right.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
So, subjectively, everything is right. Subjectively, everything is right. Everything is a perspective or a view.
Yeah.
So if I produce something and everybody thinks it's completely different from what I want it to be perceived as, I've missed the objective mark.
Okay. Because if it doesn't make sense
Yes.
to the outside
What's the
observers,
yeah.
then
That's
it hasn't worked. Yeah.
and it's a small element of art.
Interesting. It's
And this is this is something that I'd learned from Rothko and the study, because I was not an abstract person, but now it's just like, okay, I totally understand how the colors make you feel, not literally but abstract. You stand in front of a blue for 5 minutes, your mood will adjust and change and so forth. And these are facts and things that just happen to people.
that's more like science.
Yeah. And it's not.
Yeah, that's like I've heard that green is the happiest color because in spring the first thing that pops up is green.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So they psychologically, emotionally connect that to
Yeah.
Oh.
things growing,
To, like, a
things,
fresh
new
start.
fresh
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Spring is coming. It's going to be nice
Yeah,
and
yeah,
warm. So green is a happy color. I can't remember where I
Yeah.
read that or who told me,
Yeah.
but I remember it, and
I
I
can see
do
that.
I do really like the color green. It's not my favorite color, but
Anyway.
when I see it, it's like yeah,
Yeah. Like it just makes you feel.
yeah,
It, it's a question I like to ask because I mean, the one thing that art does every art has to have is intent.
yeah,
There's beauty everywhere,
Right.
but it's not art until you make it art.
yeah.
Is that a fair
But
statement?
is it intent for the person making it or for their audience?
Either way,
Right.
if you go up, I want to feel something beautiful, and you go out to a meadow and it's got nice flowers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful, and in your mind you can turn that into art, but it has to, and then create art with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Am
I
I'm,
think so. So
yeah, I
it's-
have bubbles in my podcast saying I'm full of shit. Just
Well,
to
that's the
say,
thing. Objectively, your opinion may be different. Someone else
Well,
will say,
I-
no, that's not right.
and I don't want this to come across
No.
as an attempted lecture by any means. It's an attempt at exploring other artists' perspective.
Sure.
And comparing them to mine. And that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and that's how a good conversation starts, right? It's
well,
like,
that's good. Yeah.
here's
no,
what
that-
I think. What do you think of what I think? It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's I'm trying to think. Maybe it depends on the piece of art. Like it's like music. Some people love certain music types of music,
Yeah.
and other ones are like, I can't stand that. Please turn that off.
Yeah.
Right. So it's their personal response to it, and just because one person doesn't like the other person does like doesn't mean that the intent or the purpose of it was a failure, right? So because for one person it worked and the other person did not, because it made sense to them.
Yes, that's all true.
Yeah.
But and or but or
But-
and.
Are you contradicting
Are you-
yourself?
are you saying-
No. I want to add on.
Then it's
I want,
an
and.
not a but.
Also, no, like and. Also, can you respect art you don't like?
Yeah, I think I have to. I think
I
I
do
have
too.
to because it's not for me to say it's right or wrong because there's no right or wrong way of doing art. And if it makes sense to the other person, even though I don't like it,
Yes.
unless it's, I find maybe AI art I'm not a fan of.
Of what?
Say that AI
AI.
art.
The art.
People say, oh, that's still art. It's still using other artists' styles and stuff. It's like, well, sort of. It's
It's a gray
Yeah,
area.
it's a very-
Everything has a purpose, and and that should not be. What did I see? I seen a meme the other day. AI is supposed to do the things that allow you to do art,
Yeah, like I want.
rather than to do the art to allow you to do things.
Yeah, like I would much
Right.
rather the AI wash my dishes and
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
than
And steal
Then-
someone's creative.
Yeah.
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
So it's, but in terms of I think we should respect people's art. As long as
Yeah.
it's theirs. As long as it's theirs, it's genuine. It's authentic, and they haven't stolen it from someone else. Or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
no,
right? And claimed it as their own.
Well,
That
yeah.
sort of thing, like,
There's
fine.
that theft thing too. I mean,
yes,
Is there anything that's original anymore? Can we do anything
course.
original?
I'm doing something original right now.
I have also done
But
something
it's
original.
a copy of something else.
No, it's not. It's not a copy. It's my interpretation. It's what I'm
Okay,
seeing.
okay.
And
So it's-
my translation
That's
of what
fair,
I see
that's
onto
fair.
the paper. Copying would be take a photo of you. That's you.
Okay.
I can't deny that's it. That's
What if you did a photorealism version? If
I
you-
could do that too.
yeah, and that's where
Give me a minute, I'll get that done.
That's
too.
what I mean. It took me 8 hours to do that, and I really like that technique of the pencil artistry, the charcoal.
Yeah.
And that's where I love when it comes to the paper.
Yeah.
But this quick stuff, I'm terrible at proportions.
I
Yeah.
cannot do 2D art to save my life.
Like,
Yeah.
aww,
I
now
got
that's cool because you've chosen the features that make Mike who he is.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't draw every detail, but these are the parts of him that make him distinct, right? I like that. Works for me.
I have a very hard time with like the little features of things. But I can do,
Yes.
like, if I were to make like a little sculpture of Mike, I could do that. But
Yeah.
this is so hard.
It is hard, but you know, my original drawings were not good when I was drawing when I was younger. They were not good, and even drawing since then, you know, they were good, and then they got bad, and then they got better again. My character style, like, there's a period of time where it's like I look at those drawings and I'm like, I don't like what I did. I
Yeah.
think it looks terrible. At the time, I thought they looked good.
Yeah.
Now I look back
Yeah.
objectively, and I'm like, that was like garbage. So you know, art is very organic. It's it evolves. It is an expression of each person, right? So
I think my art, I fought to make it less organic, and that was where I struggled. Like if I lost myself in a piece, it usually ended up fairly well. But the more I thought about it, the more I struggled. And
Yeah.
then I did a couple pieces I was so impressed with. I looked back and my God, that's as good as it gets. And then I realized in the middle I'd forgot her hair.
Oh,
like
no.
like the whole length of her hair, and it was just like this. But in the background, I had this other stuff. But everything else was like in my mind, it was perfect because I lost myself into it.
Yeah.
right.
My mind, I fight my mind when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where I think with, I've been watching a lot of your stuff too, and I can see where you get that embellishment of the features, right? Okay, so I've got a very round face, so we start with a big circle rather than an oval or whatever it is that you see so quickly.
Right.
And I can't do that super quick, adjustment.
Sort of work, sort of pick away at it. sort of-
Yeah.
Yeah,
But as
yeah.
I'm looking at your stuff online, I've realized, the shape of the face, that chin. Okay, I can see you just make that square. And I've been kind of the eyes. If you can get the eyes and the overall shape, that's like a big step.
I find the eyes are the most important part of the face.
Yeah,
For me.
and they're difficult for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I always make one bigger than the other.
That's why I didn't draw your eyes.
Yeah.
And that's okay, you know what? It's like if you just leave out the parts you don't need. I mean, I've seen paintings of people, it's just the upper part of the body and they have no legs. Like it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's okay. It doesn't mean they're missing. It's just in that person's mind they weren't supposed to be there. So,
Do you ever run into somebody, and I know people that hate looking at themselves in photographs and stuff, that ever look at you mentioned before that somebody said, that doesn't look anything like me.
Oh, yeah.
But does anybody, how often does that happen?
not that often.
No?
Not that often. It's once. Some people just, it's like they see themselves a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? They imagine, so when
20
they see a
and
drawing,
thin. And,
more hair, less hair, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's again, they've interpreted themselves that way. Like it's hard to even draw myself.
Oh,
I imagine myself a certain way, and I look in the mirror, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
there's people I can't draw at all for some reason. Like my wife has always been very difficult to draw, and maybe it's because I've so trained myself to draw through comic books or through whatever that I did as a kid that
Yeah.
I find it difficult to draw a human without muscles. In a
Okay.
certain sense,
Yeah.
and I've drawn some good puppy dogs and animals and stuff, but it's like everything's gotta get them jacked. It's just like too many comic books as a kid. Yeah.
So that's sort of your you've been influenced by outside sources, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean, my style's definitely been influenced probably by other artists that I've seen. I try and draw kind of the way they draw a little bit, take a little bit bits of their style and fit it into mine.
Oh yeah.
That's why my drawings are constantly evolving. Like my style is not the same.
I-
Every 10 years it changes.
I'd like to do more to allow mine to do that, but I haven't done it in years. I had a friend. We used to work out together. Like we were popping vitamins and working out 5-6 days a week and going crazy. But we were both artists, so we would like draw for a while, swap pictures, and then we draw for a while, swap pictures, and we draw for
that's
a while.
fun.
And I really loved that collaborative idea. And then at the end, he said, "You drew her lips." I drew her hands. You drew this, and I drew that, and
Yeah.
it was really interesting
Yeah.
to do that.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
you've sort of combined your styles.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
That's
So-
really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I haven't seen Norman. I had 3 friends growing up: Norman, Nelson, and Neil. It was weird. I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know what it has to do with ends, but
And Mike.
strange coincidence. coincidence.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Ash just sent me a little card. It says, keep a bad drawing until you study, or sorry, keep a bad drawing until by study you have found out why it's bad. And that's a quote from Robert Henry. And he has a date here, 1865 to 1929.
Oh wow.
So,
That's a nice. I
That's
like that
interesting.
idea.
Yeah.
Right. Like to not, I've drawn pictures that I haven't. I like to take pictures of the drawings I do sometimes, and sometimes I'll do a drawing where it's like, oh, it didn't quite work.
yeah.
But I'll take a picture of it anyway because it reminds me. It's like,
Yeah.
that didn't work.
My
Let's
dad.
look at this and remember, figure out why.
Yeah, my dad used to draw us pictures all the time. Like we loved Disney, so I remember him drawing. We had this huge poster board, and he drew Miko, the raccoon from Pocahontas, and like I remember just being in awe of this drawing, this picture that he drew and colored, and he was like, "Oh no, it's like it's just not good," and I was like, "But I love it," and I still have it.
So he didn't like it, but you loved it.
I loved it. And like he's like, oh, this little thing here isn't right. His arm's a little chubby. And,
Yeah.
but I loved it. I was 4. Or was I 4? I don't know. I was little, and I absolutely loved
That's nice.
this picture that my dad gave me.
That's cool. That's
And
very
it's,
cool.
it's huge.
My dad would draw a picture of a horse in like 3 seconds, and it was like, oh my god, that's amazing, and I loved it, and that's how I started when I was like
Yeah.
3 or 4, and then I could actually probably draw it to you right now. See your pad?
Yeah.
Give me a marker.
There you go. Oh.
This is my
Do you,
dad's
want,
horse.
do you want a mug?
No, I got the mug here.
Draw the mug.
There's my horse.
Oh, see now
So that's the horse my dad-
know. Someone will know that's a horse.
And that is where the objective nature comes in.
Yeah.
And I don't want to harp or make anybody think that we have to overthink everything, because that's
Yeah.
wrong. But it's an argument that some people will get into, and it's just like,
There's some art that does make me angry. There's art that I find that like it's anyone heard of The Voice of Fire?
No.
Is anyone familiar with that piece of art? It was purchased by the Canadian government. It was hanging. I don't know. It may still be hanging in the Museum of Art in Ottawa. And all it is, it's 3 lines. It's huge. It's black, red, black.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You could take a paint roller and paint
Yeah.
this thing. They
Yeah.
paid $1 million for this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people think, oh, it's a Voice of Fire. It's like, it looks like paint roller paint. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed with, or
Yeah.
like a blank page with like a dot in it.
Yeah.
It's artsy. It's
and there's a quick
Oh, well,
character
that's
of a
even
horse,
better.
whatever.
That's awesome. I love that.
But
Right. So
um,
I don't know. Art is.
it is subjective by nature,
very
and
subjective,
and
yeah.
you have to love what you love, and you have to respect everybody's right to love
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
perspective.
Or not love it.
Or not love it. Absolutely, 100% right.
Right?
Yeah.
Not everyone likes my work, and I don't like. There's another artist I don't like his work, but he likes it. So it's like, all right, well, it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine by me.
Yeah.
So it's art. Art is just. I think it should be allowed to be expressed. However, if someone finds value in it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Then it's worth something.
Yeah.
I wanna jump over onto the stage for a little bit here.
All right.
So when did that become valuable to you?
Oh, being on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, well, first proper acting job I did was with Baltimore Theater when I was 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
cool.
So, but I've loved the theater before that. Like we did a lot of like improv stuff in school, and the moment that we played the freeze game, museum game, and you had to freeze, and kids had to like try and make you move, twitch, whatever, without touching you.
Oh, okay.
And I was the last one left standing, and I freaked people out because I was so static. They're like, okay, that's just weird.
Oh, okay.
But I thought, wow, I can affect people's feelings. I can actually make them believe that I am actually a statue.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
just
yeah.
things like that. It was just but I've always just loved theater. So yeah, and I've been doing it ever since. So got
So-
2 1-acts happening this month. So
Oh, what are they?
in Devon,
Oh.
weekend of the 22nd, the Friday to the Sunday.
Oh, this 22nd?
Yeah, this weekend.
Oh,
Or
man,
this
I was just
month.
going to
Yeah.
invite you to our improv show. Because we
Ah.
need performers.
Oh, God.
We had a
I'm
couple of
busy.
back now, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
What are they? What's the title of them?
Well, the whole show is called Quickies, so it's 5 different one-act shows. They put it all together into one evening.
Okay.
I'm in 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in one. Our show is called Boise, Idaho, which is a comedy. The other one. Is called,
That's the one you did at the regionals.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we did
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, and then we're doing Blooming of Ivy, which was at the regionals and provincials 6 years ago.
Oh,
So we're bringing that one back. We wanted to do that one again for a long
6 years
time.
ago. That would have been
2018.
2018. I don't know if I wasn't the ADFA director then, so I probably might not have seen it.
Oh, it's a wonderful play.
Okay.
We love the play so much. That's why we're doing it again. We're reprising it. So
Yeah.
but yeah. So theater is definitely
See, I have
a big love.
So, how much do you enjoy reprising stuff, going back and then bringing stuff forward?
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because I don't usually reprise anything actually.
See, I typically don't like that.
Yeah.
Now, Red, just because it had such a brief moment in me doing it, and I did it with my son, I would bring that back. But
Okay.
once I've put my heart and my soul into something, I want to move on and I want to leave that behind. Now, I mean, sometimes
Sometimes
these
one time's good.
one act fun comedies, they're sometimes a little different. You can put them back together, and actually the interview. I did that at our regionals. It was kind of a 2-man show where I played a lawyer pleading for his life on the gates of hell.
I
Ooh, that
enjoyed
sounds
that one
interesting.
so much.
I did not bury the lawnmower. I may have done other things. I'm sure I did, but I did not.
Was that here in town you did that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We were short some one acts for the festival, so I thought I could throw that together. It's with one other person that they read the lines, but they just played the demon, and I'd run around the stage trying to plot my case, and it goes right into the fine. I buried the lawnmower. I did it. I did. And it goes on, and finally ends up pleading and getting sent to hell or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I hope you'll be comfortable. It's the-
Yeah, there's like
That
the
sounds
last,
very
it's like the
intriguing.
last
Yeah.
line. It was
Was it
so
David
good.
Mamet?
It was a which?
David Mamet?
Dave. Okay. Oh, Mammoth. Okay. Yeah. You wrote it?
Yeah. I was like, somebody asked me to do it because it was they're a small town. They all wanted to do the comedies, but it was part of a 3-1 act death defying.
Yeah.
And they wanted somebody who was interested in doing something deeper, and they know that that's where my heart lives.
You're not afraid of that.
My heart lives there. I will take a soulful, heartful drama 99 times out of 100 over top of a comedy.
Yeah.
1,000 times over a musical. But that's because I can't sing. That's just,
Well, it's like Blooming of Ivy is actually it's got some funny bits in it, but it is ultimately a serious
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
and true, very realistic story, and we love doing it because it draws on real emotions
it's,
that people feel, right, and people will relate to it. So yeah, it's just a really, really well done. That's another reason why I wanted to bring it back because it's such a good play.
sometimes it means something, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
yeah.
so you're in it?
I'm in it.
You're in
yes,
it?
I'm
Okay.
acting in that. Yeah,
Wicked.
yeah, two shows. A
Wicked.
lot of lines in my head.
Oh, I bet.
Well, how long are they?
Oh, they're like 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
It's not
Not very
crazy.
long.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's-
Long enough, yeah. So
Well, I realized the interview was about a 30-minute
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
but it was all me.
Yeah. It was
And I'm going,
you just running back.
That's a lot of
Ryan-
lines
Ryan
when you
running
break it down. It's
side
only a
and
30-minute show. I
Yeah.
could do that in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
And then the
Yeah.
the
Lot of
demon was
lines.
just like, yes.
It was like
No.
three-page monologue
Yeah.
in there too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did so
That
well.
would scare me.
It was so good.
Yeah,
really
well,
good.
it was scary, but I find fear is a powerful motivator
Oh yes.
for
Oh
me.
yes. Yeah, I think you need to be afraid. Like either it's with art, with theater. Like fear is a great motivator.
Yeah.
I think all the emotions are powerful in art.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
mean, yes, fear. My first fear of theater was not looking bad on stage. That was the first thing I went through. As long as nobody thinks I sucked,
course.
as long as nobody hates my performance, then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'll do that. But
Yeah.
then it became, well, that I hope everybody understands me. Then I hope then it becomes I hope I can become this character.
Yeah.
Then it's
Make
I
them
hope
believe
that
that
yeah.
is you are that character.
Yeah.
and
Right?
and I long for the next role where I can do that. So
Yeah.
we just did our Halloween thing, and don't eat the
Okay.
lava lamp.
I love that one.
That was the name of the
so
Yes.
conversation.
Yeah, and there's our lava lamp.
Yes.
That,
Okay.
that devoured their souls.
So this young girl, Nalita, we had great chemistry on stage. She was house sitting for whoever, and they said, whatever you do, don't eat the lava lamp. And she's on this phone with her friend, trying to figure out why would anybody do that.
Yeah.
She exits the room. I come on as this kind of sad, bumbling burglar, and she says, whatever you do, don't eat the lava lamp. What do you mean, eat a lamp? Why would I eat a lava lamp? It's clearly not food. And we go through, and then we make a bond, and we decide to get together and eat the lava lamp. And then it eats our souls, and we're dead at the end, and the lava lamp goes back.
Wow.
So,
I think we had to watch that one.
It was so funny. I almost peed myself laughing.
Yeah.
it was what I loved about it, and I've gone through the years. I've been in theater for 30 years.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it now, and I look back we just did Shakespeare last summer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
That
about
was so
creating
much
a
fun.
character from stock rather than stereotypes and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to get out the old New York accent, and we'll just get along with
Yeah.
it. Like, fuck it, let's go. Come on, let's move
I like being
on.
from New York. We can
That's
do, this whole-
right.
do the rest of the interview like we're from New York. That'd be fine.
We're nice
Love doing
guys.
this sort of thing,
We're
right?
nice people. We just do what we do and fuck the rest.
Yeah,
Get
that's
along.
right.
Anyway.
Oh, keep it going. That's good. I'll throw in some British. We'll be fine.
And I like the idea of getting down into that break. Like, for don't eat the lava lamp. Silly little thing is like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
But my director Annika said, "Well, create your backstory. Give us." She wanted to hear what. Well, so I decided, okay. So I'm I'm the youngest of like 5 kids. And for whatever reason, it was like the city type thing, and it was a bit of New York or whatever. And it's like my oldest brother, he took over the business because like Dad fucking loved him. He's an asshole. And the second brother, the other brother, he became a doctor, the smart one. He didn't treat the rest of us like shit. And then the other brother, he's a lawyer, and he's like a prosecutor, so he gets lots of money, and it's whatever. And I'm like, and they just treat me like shit. So fuck them. I'm going to show them what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it.
And you're gonna die.
I'm
by
going to
lava lamp.
burglarize this house, and I'm going to make the big show right here. And she just absolutely loved the idea. And the idea, like, so many people will treat a one act so superficially.
Yeah.
I lived in that character.
That
She
was-
has
It's
that,
amazing how much you can do in 10, 15 minutes.
and it
Right?
makes it so much more valuable when
Yeah.
you decide to go deeper. Now she's going to look at you constantly, and you're going to
I am.
feel judged.
See, now, how do you feel? How do you feel with me doing this, right?
Oh,
'Cause I
that-
think we were talking about mental health with this or something.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's
but,
right.
how do you feel? Like, that's how I find with doing characters, people become very self-conscious. Like, very like, oh, what's happening there? And then you can't see it. And it's a scary thing to be objectified, essentially, into my drawing here.
My
right?
children
So-
draw me all the time.
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably numb to that now.
So they've gotten used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like some of the drawings are really, really well done.
Yeah.
And then my feral child has just discovered that drawing is quite fun. And so she will just do this giant scribble, and she's like, "Mom, this is you today."
And it's the way she sees you. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
it's your turn to do something. Yeah, come on, you're on this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then but yeah, like my oldest, she drew a picture. She called it "The View from My Bed." So she sat down on her bed and like drew her sister's crib, and then the whole family except for her, because she's sitting on her bed, looking at our family. And it's like me. I'm holding the baby, and in the picture, my hair is like an absolute disaster. I'm looking like I've had a day, and then just this big smile on my face, and she's like, "Look, Mom, you are just having such a great day." And I was just like, "Huh,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad.
That's it. It's like, and now you didn't know it until she told you that you were having a good
Yeah,
day.
because all I could see was like, because she even drew like stains on my clothes and like
Oh no.
like she was like, Mom, like we did so much today in this picture, like the
Aw.
and she's like, this stain is from when we were baking, and this stain is from
Now
when we were
there's-
painting, and your hair is all messy because we were running out in the yard, and oh, and that's a stick because you got stuck in a tree, and I was like, oh, okay, good.
So here's the interpretation of the art, that,
Yeah.
right? Because if you looked at that without the explanation, you would say, "Oh, I look like a total disaster.
Yeah.
What a mess! Like
Yeah.
this is such a negative kind of picture."
Yeah.
For her,
Yeah.
all these things were positive, and that's
Yeah.
how she felt it.
Yeah, and I was just
so
like,
maybe that's
huh.
something in the understanding of the art.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, I feel
You know?
so good. Like she's had like
That's
obvious I
nice.
did something right today.
Yeah.
And then she drew her two other siblings. Like actually, it looked like they were fighting in the picture, but apparently they were playing very nicely. This is what she told me at least.
There
so,
you go. Again, it's without her explaining it,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
And like she's 8, so like it's
Yeah.
not the greatest drawing in the world, but like I have it hanging on my fireplace because I think it is awesome.
now let's say also too, looking at her as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Is really well done.
Yeah, like, and she's
Right.
drew like the bars on the crib. She drew
Yeah.
like the baby. She drew like her dad's in there, like standing in the doorway. He's
Wow.
like,
so you see how what she observes, like what
Yeah.
she sees from
yeah,
her,
yeah.
her
So
perspective.
and yeah,
right?
she called it. She comes up to me, and is like, "Mom, I call this picture the view from my bed," and I was like, "Oh, what are you gonna draw? Like, what does this look like?" And yeah, it
what
was
does
just.
that mean? It's like, ah,
What did
so-
you draw? Show
But in
me.
fact, it was like
it was
quite
actually
beautiful.
it
then,
was
right?
beautiful, and she's explaining it
That's
to me, and
nice.
she's like, "Huh, I like this.
I like,
This
yeah.
is so good."
See, I love that idea, right? And it's like, you know, if you had drawn the view from your bed, it'd be a whole different picture, right?
Oh, like
You know. I was like, all I see from my angle is a horse, so I'm not sure. Look, I see the other side. Wait, wait, wait.
She'll hate it.
okay. Oh, that's awesome.
But I can see the parts that make her, the glasses, the
Yeah.
ponytail.
My double
Smile?
chin.
Yeah,
I like it.
I was just like, I was so self-conscious when so she's got that. This is okay. This is like,
No,
oh my
this is
God. Does she know she has that?
I do know that it's a family chin.
Like I was drawing this woman's husband. She asked me, commission me to draw a picture of him, and I'm like, okay. So I had a photo of him. I
Yeah.
drew the picture, and in my opinion, based on the picture, it looked like him. And she's like, no. Can you just give him a little more hair? Let's do this. Let's change his face, make it a little skinnier. Blah, blah, blah. And she kept moving it, changing so much. I looked at the picture, and I'm like, it doesn't look like him anymore. Who are you married to? Do you really, like?
Yeah.
Does he not look the way you want him to look? Because this picture looks no.
Yeah.
It was, but she paid for it, so I don't care.
Did you ever see Ink Master?
I've seen it
The TV
once.
show?
The
Watched it
tattoo?
once.
It's
Yeah.
I used to watch it religiously all the time, and it was, it was a bit cutthroat. I didn't care for the competition aspect of
Yeah.
it because that does not define the best tattoo artist. That
No.
defines the best tattoo artist in under an hour,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. You know,
Yeah,
that's what-
tattoo.
Yeah.
but there's some nasty stuff that gets put on people on tattoos,
But some of them just love it.
and some of them are
That's
brilliant.
right.
Some of them, yeah.
My kids has so many tattoos on them, and some of them like, why'd you do that one? Okay.
Yeah.
And they've had them covered up too as well. So
Yeah.
or changed to something else. So yeah, again, that's interpretation, right? That's their personal expression. My dad absolutely hates tattoos. I'm like, well, they're not doing it on you, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we're almost done this little. I thought I'd try a different kind of sketch, but I'm sure anytime.
I'm sure it's gonna look
serve a
amazing.
Time.
And you're also in a band. You play all sorts of
Yes.
musical instruments.
Just keyboard. I
Just
keyboard
keyboard?
and singing.
Oh, so you can't play guitar?
No.
Oh,
Oh no!
whew,
no,
thank
no.
God.
Play guitar?
Just,
No. Okay.
barely.
Okay.
He learned over COVID.
No, I just.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
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 No, I just. I know a lot of you know Ken Mestel.
I do
Nope.
not.
He's from Wetaskiwin. He does the Buddy Holly tribute.
Oh. No, I've never
He's
seen
super
that.
talented too.
So talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's always annoying.
Annoying. Right?
Annoying that
Yeah.
people are so good and they're good at everything, and it's just like, I want you to suck at something. Tell me about something you're terrible at, just so that I
Something
can feel
I'm
better.
terrible at. I cannot.
Drawing.
I'm checking my
I'm
oil in
terrible
my
at drawing.
car, I'm not so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really comfortable doing math, science stuff.
I hate producing. I
Yeah?
absolutely despise producing.
Oh really?
But I have to do it because like we're
Yeah.
trying to find those like-minded energy people,
Yes.
which is weird because I surround myself by people are completely not like me, but they have similar energy in that sense type thing.
Plus,
So
not being like you, they have other ideas that you might not have otherwise thought of, maybe. Or
that, and they're just like Ash over there is like she has the purple hair and she does the weird stuff and okay, that's
He's
fine.
colorblind.
I know.
Yeah, and she's happy all the time, which is fucking annoying.
I'm not
consistently.
happy all the time.
And I find if you can find people with different personalities and talents, but share the same energy,
yes.
that works best.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yes.
like Infinite is kind of filtering down. You always want to find that one or two people that really want to grow, evolve, learn.
Having other people, different people around you, you learn from them, right? And
Yeah.
You find something in yourself that connects to them. You notice that before, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Like
so-
my wife is the best person. She's not a theater person, but if I run by my character or a play through her,
Yeah.
she comes from a layman term, so it's like, well, why don't you just do that? And I so overlook that because I'm trying to be, profound. I'm supposed to be profound and pretentious, and I've got to be looked at with brilliance and all this other stuff.
Oh my.
So, and it's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that takes, and everything. Even with people who are artists, where you think, oh, they're so talented, it's like musicians so talented. It's practice.
Didn't wake up that way.
Practice. No, you didn't wake up that way. A lot, maybe the
Yeah.
rare person wakes up speaking different language. But on the most part, it's practice. It's constantly working at it, constantly
Yeah.
making
And
making
challenging
your craft,
yourself.
right? And
Oh yeah,
trying new
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stepping
right?
into
So-
uncomfortable situations
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
you're comfortable. Emily
Yeah.
was, Emily Rutledge.
Oh yes, I know
she
what
was.
I know.
She was, I think, our first guest
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I think so,
because she always inspired me, and I really look up at her because she's so talented, and she does that same stuff where she just keeps working. She can't imagine life without theater, which is something
Yes.
I totally relate with.
Yeah.
Or me
If
as
somebody
well.
took away my theater, that part of my life, I think I would become a sad,
I'm very,
pathetic person. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you just lose your joie de vivre, your joy of life. That's right, because these are things that
Joie
feed
de
your
vivre?
soul. Oui, joie de vivre,
what? Joy
joy of life.
Do you speak French too?
Juste un peu.
Yeah, figured.
Mais pas très bien.
No.
I can fake it.
Yeah.
Français, juste un
Yes, I'm from New
peu.
Brunswick, so
No, I
that's
can't do
the
that. I
only
can't do
bilingual
Brunswick.
province in the country.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I never learned crayon, bleu, crayon.
Yeah,
De, is that a de B or whatever?
No, c'est 4B.
Quatre. Okay.
4B. Yeah.
82.
82. Oh no.
So we're gonna need subtitles. with
I think
English.
so.
They're
So,
talking
well,
about
person-
the number of the pencil. It's a blue pencil that is 4B.
It's a 4B.
4B.
See, you can sound French like you know French.
I
Translated
love doing
it.
voices.
Yeah, and I love
think I
voices
love
too.
doing.
But
I can
I.
speak like I am French, but I am learning English as a
Oh,
language.
if we are doing a hockey show, then I can
Oh, yeah?
maybe pull out some Quebecois type
Okay,
thing.
there you go.
I'll score a hat trick, and that's 3 goals. And
goals,
I could
yes.
do a bit of that, but I could not speak French so that someone would be, oh, do you speak French? No, not at all.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I suppose a phrase I could learn it good enough. So
I had to speak it when we went to Paris. My kids refused to speak French. It's like I did all the communication. Everyone. So.
Bonjour.
Oui, bonjour. C'est parlez plus lentement, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
Oui. That's what, exactly, right?
Comment ça va?
Comment ça va?
Très
Ça va
bien.
bien?
Trigger word. Tabernacle.
You can't say that.
What?
That's not a good word.
Yeah, my son's 23, and he's taken film and video studies in Calgary.
Oh,
That's safe.
good for him.
Oh, I know. He's actually, there's my next question for you.
Yes.
What's inspired you most? And I'll tell you before you answer.
Yes.
My biggest inspiration's been my son.
Nice.
He's inspired me to grow and evolve more as an actor, as a performer, than I could possibly imagine anybody else doing it.
Nice.
Where he Where we'll start arguing. No, you inspired me, Dad. No, you inspired me. You're my, you know. But
We inspired each other.
He's film and video, and we'll break down emotional connections in movies all the time. And
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
That's our connection. So
That's
what's
your
inspired
bond.
you? What's your inspired?
Inspired me.
That was my question.
I mean, my uncle was a amazing artist. I mean, we weren't blood related. He was also adopted.
Yeah.
But he was a theater person. He made art. He invented things like furniture. He was a musician. He did
Yeah.
all these things. I always say, oh, I got this from him.
That's
So
so
in
cool.
a way, maybe
Yeah.
it was a bit of inspiration to me that he was a sort of kind of a Renaissance man,
Yeah.
right? And he also taught English as a second language,
Oh, okay.
right? So he was all over the place.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
so cool.
You know, and I didn't get to know him long enough. He died young from MS. But you know, it's like his art stays. His art. We still have his art.
Yeah.
You know, and you get to know that he's in that. That's part of him, right? Is
Yeah.
our way of holding on to him by holding on to what he created.
Yeah.
You know, and I think too, I love art because in theater because you're connecting with other people. You're leaving something for other people to show. I existed.
Yes.
I made this.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. In 100 years, they'll have that. They'll still have that.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if you frame it and put it behind UV protected glass.
Yeah, I guess.
It'll still be there.
Yeah, so people can throw chocolate milk and paint at it.
Exactly.
If we're lucky.
Oh, no.
And it's only this
Yeah.
big. And
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like, okay. No, there's art in my
but that's
family,
the
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's your art?
Well,
like
like
you and exactly,
my,
right?
I got an uncle that had an album in New Brunswick, and there was bands. They kitchen parties down east, but we moved before I really was allowed to really comprehend that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but there was that, and then my sister. She was an artist. She passed away when I was 11, so we lost that. But she was the one that really had the artistry. Otherwise, nobody else in my family really.
Weren't really that artistic.
Not in that creative, you know. They're all smart in their own ways. Should any of them
No.
watch it, but yeah.
My parents did some music and stuff, but they weren't really prolific at
Yeah.
it. My dad's an astrophysicist, so he's
Oh.
he's a little more sciencey than artsy, but
That's
he
really
appreciates
smart.
art. He's super,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
smart gene did not land on me and my sister as much as with him, but. No, but they appreciate the arts.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
encourage us. They wanted us to take lessons, piano lessons. They
Oh, yeah.
Taking
Yeah.
piano lessons. My sister tried it, didn't like it, went for guitar. Me, I'm like, I love the piano. Give me the piano.
It's too
You know,
scary.
so it made sense to me. I wanted to take those lessons, so.
I got 5 of these, and you want me to play 88 keys
Yeah.
all at the same time. It's like, no, I
Not
gotta
all
do
at the
this.
can't be
same
done.
time.
Yeah.
And now I do that and play the tambourine and the cowbell, so.
Oh, always
no,
need
still
more
learning
cowbell.
new tricks
Oh,
when
yeah.
over the past age 50, so.
Well, I did pick
never
up the
too late.
electric guitar after I did the acoustic, so I did dance around there. I'm
Yeah.
that close to finding someone. I think I want to get Ken Mistel to do something to get me to be able to play a song on stage. I'll
Okay.
be happy. If I can play a song and get by on stage once,
Yeah,
that'll be my
There you
minimum.
go.
My minimum.
Just face your fears.
Yeah.
you can do
Face
it.
your fears.
Except for
Do it.
snakes, I don't ever want to face those.
Oh, well, no. Nobody wants I don't mind snakes. actually.
Snakes are actually super cool.
They are cool. As long as they're not strangling me, I like snakes. So they're good. But so I
Yeah.
don't know if we wanted to show. I can.
Oh,
show
yeah.
What I ended up with. I mean, you guys showed your art.
Yes,
Your
yes,
versions
yes,
of
yes.
each other, right?
This
So.
is Mike.
All right. So that was yours, and then that was my version of Mike.
Yeah.
And that is
And
Danielle.
then that's Danielle,
That is Danielle.
and this is my version of Danielle.
That's
And my
awesome.
chin.
So the more realistic with the chin.
See, that's
my
about an
chin.
hour and a half for me.
Right. And this was like.
Yeah.
I mean, I could spend. A lot of portraits I usually do. Well, I'll do 5 hours. I will.
Oh, yeah,
get
for-
every detail,
yeah.
every
Yeah.
eyelash. This,
Yeah.
this is like, okay, let's just get
That's
this quick
really.
and get
I
the most.
really like that.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
and always sign your art because it could be worth $1 million.
Yes, that's right.
And date your art.
Oh,
They
date
are-
it.
It's 24.
Your own
24, yeah. Let's see. I even now these days I'm inspired by the artists that I see on Instagram, like
Yeah.
and some of the work that they do, like these fast art, like upside down artists. Or
Oh, yeah, you see them
multimedia
on stage
3D
where they-
like it's crazy.
Handful of paint, they blop, 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 and then they
Like,
spin
I
it
don't know how they
upside
do
down,
that.
and it's
It's something.
There's something their brain works in a whole different way.
Yeah,
I have
that-
no idea
Yeah, it's-
how that
it's
happens.
amazing.
So,
yeah.
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 But that's for you.
No,
Oh,
that's
thank
amazing.
you.
That's for you.
You're a graphic designer too, right?
I am a graphic designer. Yes, I've designed logos, posters.
So we got a logo per se is infinite, but we're looking for something that can be attached to raging imagination.
Okay.
So we're looking for something like that, and I'd be interested to see what you could come up with.
Sure.
Now that you've had an experience into here, and
Now
you'll
I
watch
know
some
you.
of our old podcasts and check that out.
Yeah.
This is way better than the other one,
Oh.
and the other one was so
Is it?
good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
I'd be happy.
Well, the other one I was
Like-
clean shaven. I had a little goatee, and I had a very
And
round
goatee.
head. And
So that wasn't you. That was your character I was drawing.
yeah, well, I
more so,
cycle through the
right?
facial hair all the time.
Oh,
so
okay.
at one point in my life, yes, I'm clean shaven, and that's me. So
Yeah.
I'm really not liking this now. It's just
You're
too.
you're prepping for Santa.
I'm prepping for Santa Claus. So
Oh yes, and that's theater, right? And that's why I love theater, like just being someone else and making someone believe you are.
Yeah, I
Like
love
Grandma
that too.
Adams in the Adams Family, and a lot of people didn't recognize me.
Who did you do that one for?
That was about 8 years ago with Leduc
Okay.
Drama Society.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because yeah, okay, so.
They just did it. It's just now
Oh.
stage work,
So-
but
Uh,
so yeah. So it's fun just being like when I'm doing this work, I become like this artist and I'm connected with people.
Yeah.
In the moment, and then just doing theater and just connecting with people. It's
So-
what it is for me.
Yeah, I love, and then, well, to me, that's connecting with people, learning new people.
Yes.
That was not me 20 years ago. Art, theater, all this has helped me connect with people, make me a better listener, and
Yeah.
I'm excited, and every time I meet somebody new, I'd love to get on the stage. You still work with Leduc,
Sometimes.
Mo-
I'm hoping.
sometimes?
Sometimes.
and you're in South Edmonton.
North Edmonton.
It's so hard to
drive.
drag you guys down from North Edmonton.
I-
We'd have to
I'm
find
gonna
something
do
really
it, so-
profound that you're really into.
Yeah. it's
yeah.
really just-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to work with different people on stage.
Yeah.
Especially somebody with
Learning
more
about the human
experience.
condition.
What's
doing,
that?
Doing theater is like learning about the human condition.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Human
Yeah.
nature, human condition.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, we could go all afternoon. Is there anything events coming up that you want to plug that are a month away?
I could say, well, there's the Devon One Act show that we're doing November 21st, 22nd, 23rd, whatever that Friday, Saturday, Sunday is. There are some tickets left for Friday for sure.
Okay.
Saturday's almost sold out.
Ooh,
Sunday, I think there's some
congrats.
tickets left. So it's a dinner theater or it's a lunch, depending on which day you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's that. So do it through East of 60 production or East of 60 website.
Okay.
You'll
East
have
of
a ticket
60.
link there.
Yeah.
My band is playing on December 7th at the Leaf and also January 3rd. Where are we playing there? I can't remember. But so look for Groovy Tuesdays. Also my boyfriend's band Paradise Alley, they're also playing some gigs. And I don't know what else. I've got nothing else.
Okay.
Nothing else public. That's the public stuff. So
No, that's
I've got
good.
some parties to work at this, but they're all private parties. So
no,
yeah.
that's all good.
That's
What's your page? Your Instagram?
my page.
Um,
So website is artformsdesign.ca.
Okay.
My Facebook would be Artforms Illustration Design, I think. And I think it's the same for I should know this. My Instagram should be about the same, Artforms Illustration Design.
Okay.
So look
like
for that. We look for Artforms. And yeah, I've got 2 samples out there. So
Oh, yeah, that's excellent. Well, thanks for coming down. This has been a very different. We haven't had a conversation like this, and I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, that was good.
We got into a little more.
Reheat up meters! Yeah! Yeah! Reheat up meters! Whoa! Whoa!
Do you want me to clap?
Okay. Yes, do a clack again. We need to do a clack.
Clack 2.
No, say clack 1 because we're gonna put it at the front.
Clack 1. I can count. So we are here at Fox and Fable in Camrose. They are a board game bookstore and used book store, and they have lots of really cool fun things. They have art on the